my relationship with the organ itself is quite troubled. For me, it's not about love. It's about kind of obsession and almost an addiction, really. It's timely because I'm just reading Junkie by William Burroughs, and there's some moment in there where he describes how a relationship with junk, with heroin or with whatever it happens to be, is not just about the drug and not just about the good side of the feeling, but it's an entire lifestyle. It's an on-off, it's the high, it's the low, it's, as he calls it, the sickness afterwards. I've had something like 6 or 7 hours on this organ now. And this is, of course, the largest organ in, I guess, Australia or the world. I don't know. It might as well be the largest organ in the world for the degree of intimacy that I've been able to acquire. While it's certainly true that pianists, change instruments, the fact is that the piano is a standardized instrument worldwide. It is physically a standardized instrument. In the world of the organ, other than the most sort of vague possible little measurements about where the keyboards go, which half the builders of organs don't observe anyway, there's no general consensus that a given sound should sound like this or sound like that under a given name and be the same in South Africa as in northern Canada. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so in love with the potential of the digital organ. I don't really see the pipe organ as an instrument that has an enormous potential. I see it as having had an enormous history, a negligible present, and a future that really will be carried by a different medium. And I don't think that the medium is the message in this case. I think that the message is the message. Here. Looking that way. Maybe this way, if I'm looking this way. Look, I don't mean to make too much of a thing of it. Here I am giving my debut at the Sydney Opera House. I mean, it's a fabulous thing for me. But part of what defines me as an organist is my absolute conviction that the organ, as we know it, has to change. It has to give up its physicality as an immobile instrument and become a hanging garden of a sampled, hybridized instrument from organs all over the world. It's only possible through the digital organ. Really, that's my ultimate dream. I can't do what I want to do to an organ. I have the most egregious and severe limitations that hound me at every turn, and they're primarily my own limits on my own vision and my own technical ability. It's unbelievably, continually frustrating. I sympathize with the most humble amateur every moment that I consider that I'm actually about to play in public for people. I remember what my very favorite composer in the world, Percy Grainger, wrote in his letters, of course an Australian, about every time that he was just about to walk on stage, he figured that he had two options: simply running away as fast as possible or suicide. And well, I hate to invoke the word suicide for any reason, but one comes up against that wall of, how do you do this? How do you take this machine that's tied to the wall and has no remote relation to you, your history, your life, and which is supposed to be an artistic medium, and try to get it to do something? It's almost impossible. The organ is the most physical mainstream instrument. I've often felt that to really play the organ well, one has to be very familiar with dance. But for me, just physical fitness is incredibly important. I'm in the gym 3 or 4 days a week with my Austrian personal trainer. And so it's for me just also terribly important, because I'm traveling so much, to be in extremely tight physical condition. It's too late. There's something about it that can be totally draining. You can just have this sense that all that you're being bled dry, and it's a harrowing and hollowing feeling. And so there's something about it that asks more, I think, than any other instrument. It gives more, and it covers more ground, but it also demands more. A lot of the time, I'm downright frustrated with it, but it can give me something that nothing else can.